Okay, thank you guys for joining the webinar today. This is our actually last course on our Yeastar technical training program, and today we will be talking about the last part, which will be include recording in CDR and some maintenance configurations you might have to do when you are running a telephone system. This is our main topic today. Another thing that I'd like to mention here is, as well, this is our last course. We will be closing all of our trainings for the first level certification right here, right now. If you are interested in taking part of our Yeastar training program and get a Yeastar certification, well, you can surely do that. And well, after this training, as usual, I will send you a application form of for our certification, which you can fill it, and we'll send it back to academy@yeastar.com. So I repeat, I will send you a application form, a simple form with your basic information. We need your information so we can start account for you in our training platform, online training and exam platform. So with all those, you can send this application form to the academy@yeastar.com. If you do not do not get this form, but you really want to get certified, you can also you can also send a mail directly to this mail, academy@yeastar.com. Our training team will help you with all of those procedures. And once we create the account for you, you can go to our training platform to take exam, and this is just a simple test. If you have gone through our training courses, well, it will be very easy for you. Once you pass this exam, you will get certified. We will offer you a certification, and if you require a hardware version, that's also available. Okay, this is what we basically are going to say before we actually get started with today's webinar. So, okay. I'd like to also make sure that you can hear me. So if you do hear me, as we always do, please give me a reply in the chatting panel, and I will give you an answer. And I will know that the audio connection is fine. Okay, thank you so much. If you do hear me, please let me know. Okay, thank you. Okay, all right. It seems like the audio works okay, and you can hear me fine. So let's get started. Okay, first of all, I'd like to take several minutes to talk about IVR and ring groups. This is actually a very common destination for inbound routes, or that is to say, for a lot of companies, for most end users, IVR is how they manage the incoming calls in general. So this is actually very important, and I believe most of you guys are really familiar with the concept of IVR, because it's really common in our life. Well, for example, when you call a service provider, nobody will answer you straight away. You will get a audio guidance, but they will give you nice welcome, and of course they will ask you to choose the service you are looking for, and they will ask you to dial a specific number to get into a lower level of this audio guidance, and eventually get the service that you want. It can be either an automatic service or for simple things like checking your checking your account, your balance and stuff, or if you have complaint, then it will lead you to an agent. So this is what IVR mostly do. As I have said, it's very, very common, and in our PBX we do support IVR. Firstly, with IVR, you can find it in settings and PBXs. So with IVR, the most important thing is the prompt that played in the IVR. Like for example, take our company for example. Welcome to call Shaman Yeastar company and stuff. I haven't really called my own company. The thing is, this prompt can be different because, firstly, most people will want their own company name in this IVR, and because of the different function, different things that they do in this company, they may get different kinds of calls, and so it's safe to say that the prompt that people will use in IVR is pretty unique and pretty different in all cases. So in IVR, you will have to record your own prompts. We have already talked about recording prompts, but just in case you missed that, we have embedded system prompt, which is already embedded in your system. With IVR, well, you will have to use your own customized IVR prompt. Well, that's something that have to be recorded by yourself. Well, you can have a professional company to make this for you, and you can just tell them it's an asterisk system, and you will get a proper profile with proper codec, proper frequency. It's a proper WAV audio file, and because they are pros, so you don't have to worry about that. You can just tell the company what you would like to say in your IVR, and they will do everything, and they will record the prompt for you, and that will be no problem at all. But if you, just in case you want to record it by yourself, well, you can totally do that. Well, you can, if you want to do that by yourself, you can record it, upload it to your computer, and well, then with this computer you can actually upload this very audio to this PBX. Well, I can actually show you where you can do that. So here we have voice prompt, and we have custom prompt. So we can upload. And as you see, we browse in this local computer, and you upload the profile and upload the audio file, and it is done. Very easy. Well, you can just record. If you have your own equipment to record, that's okay. But if you want to directly use your PBX system to record it, that's also okay. You can just click Record New, and here you define the name of this prompt, and you just choose an extension and working extension to do the recording. So once you click record, PBX system will will give a call to this very extension. You pick up the phone. The system will give you a prompt, and you can just start to record it. Just say whatever you want to the telephone. System will record it and generate the recording files automatically in the system. And after you are done, you can find it right in this list. Okay, let's get back to IVR. So as we have said, prompt is very important, and well, you can choose your prompt by clicking here. So you will see the list of the prompt. You will find the prompt that you have just recorded or just uploaded. Use it right here, and well, it will be done. Very easy to understand. Okay, here in IVR we can also enable dial extensions. That means, well, if callers get into this very IVR and they know the extension number of the people that they want to talk with, and well, they don't have to go through the IVR. They can directly dial the extension number, and the call will go right through. They don't have to hear the IVR anymore. But that is only in condition of you enabling dial extension. And of course, we can dial through outbound routes as well. We can totally assign an outbound routes for you to do that. So if anyone who get into this IVR, and they can just use your PBX IVR, use the outbound routes in your PBX to make an outbound call. This is mainly used by our internal employees, not outside callers. Okay, and of course we can dial to check check voicemails. Of course, this is also for our employees who actually works for the company but do not actually physically in the company. So they can just use their mobile phone, to check voicemail if they want. Okay. And then we're getting into IVR settings. So key press event. This is very easy to understand because all IVRs realize the interaction by pressing numbers in your phone. So you can assign the key to one destination. Well, you can assign it directly to an extension, even though it's highly unlikely a user choice. Mostly you will assign another IVR, because in most cases you will be using a multi-level IVR. So you can assign one key to a download level IVR, of course, and of course you can assign it to a ring group, which you probably haven't been heard about this concept, but we will be on this just a little bit later. Okay, and of course you can assign a specific extension. As we have said, you can send this guy directly to a queue, to DISA, to any other destinations that you want. So by pressing this key, they will be sent out to this destination that you have been set right here. And of course we have timeout. That means that if after a certain amount of time there are no response by the caller, they will be dropped out to a specific destination. Well, it can be this IVR again, of course, and of course you can just drop them to another IVR or another extension directly. Here we have invalid. Sometimes people will press an invalid key by mistake or by any other reason. Well, you can surely set an destination for this invalid key. Of course, well, it can be this IVR again, of course, but by default, here in select an option in select an option of the invalid key, you will find custom prompt. So you can actually record a prompt to tell the caller that they have pressed a invalid key, and ask them to dial again, of course, and things like that. Just give them an alert. Okay, if you do not have any settings, then by default it will be no response at all. Okay, this is IVR. This is actually something that you will fairly understand. You can easily understand, and of course, all you need to do is all that I need to tell you is where you can do the settings, and you can get the concept of IVR, how we set IVR in our PBX. Very simple, very easy to understand. And here we have ring groups. Ring groups, well, you want to actually manage your extensions, for example, by according to departmental function. That is to say, for example, you want your sales team to have equal access to certain kinds of phone calls, of course. So all you can do is, you can put them into the same ring group. So once a call was made to this is sent out to this ring group by IVR, of course, as as you have seen in the IVR settings, they will have equal access to this call. For example, we choose all of the extensions of sales team, and of course we change the name. Oh, sorry, this isn't the number. We change the name to sales team. Okay. So here we can choose ring strategy. Here we can either choose ring all or sequentially. So if we choose ring all, then if the call came in, the system will, all the extensions that has been selected will ring at the same time. And if I chose sequentially, then it will be ringing one by one according to the order in this list. So first 1005, then 1006, then 1011. If we want to, we can adjust the order, to change the order of being called out. Okay, and then here we have a failover destination. With failover destination, that means if nobody actually in this ring group has answered this call, then this call can be dropped to another destination. You can put it to a voicemail. You can put it to an you can put it back to IVR. Believe it or not, this is a very common way to use this feature. A lot of people would want to drop it if this call fell over and nobody answer the caller in this ring group. They want to put it back to the IVR and let them just choose the game, just to make sure that people, the user of this PBX system do not miss this phone call. And of course, there are other places that you can use. So this is ring group, very easy to understand. So if someone want to, for example, they're interested in your products and they want to get more information, naturally sales team will have to come in and receive them. So you want to send this phone call to the sales team ring group, and this is how we set ring group right here. Okay, and of course we have included also some maintenance modules in this equipment, and I will be talking about that as well today. In the settings page, you will see the user permission in the system category. Let's click in to see what's in there. So what we do here is when we talk about a SPBX system, we are not only making this web GUI for the administrator. Administrator do set up the whole system, but we also need to think about the users, the extension who actually use the system to make phone calls every day and might need to log into the web GUI to check something or download something, or so that they can have full function. So this telephone system can really help them. So that's the ordinary users. In our MyPBX system, for the ordinary users, we have multi-level authorization. So once you assign one account as to a certain level, then all the pages, all the configurations they can do has been decided and cannot be changed, cannot be customized. Well, we have received a lot of suggestions from our partners, also from our end users, expressing that they'd like to really customize the privilege of each extension, because the situation can be very complicated and it can be very different for each user. So for some of them, for some of the company, they have only one administrator of the system, but for some company, they will have some assistant and someone in charge of certain things who need to get into the system to do some configurations and check something. And they need a flexible way to manage the authorization of each account. And this is what we do with user permission. So what we have to do is to click Add to get into the settings. So now, for every extension, the configurations and the pages they can visit and realize can be customized. So we have divided all the configurations in our system into 5 main categories. The first one, settings, CDR and recordings, monitor, application, and others. So by checking each item, you are actually giving the this account the authorization to visit and realize this configuration. So for example, if I check extensions, so then that means this this user, the user 1000, who is assigned to the extension 1000, can log into the web GUI through the user account and will realize configuration of and check the configuration of extensions, and also like do things like create new extensions, change the parameters of the existing extensions. And well, this is only an example. Everything can be changed here. They can check and uncheck stuff, but at the same time there will be only we'll have give you a shortcut for this. Like for example, if you in set privilege as, you can choose administrator. If you choose administrator, that means you are actually assigning this user as the administrator. Then all the items are checked by default. And if you are adding another account, another user as a normal user, then all the items will be disabled by default. Well, you can just check the ones you want them to have access to, and just leave others in blank. Well, that's how this thing works. And as you can see here, if you set one extension as custom, then the some of the items here will be set differently. Because for example, if you set an administrator, then by default this account will be able to check the CDR and recordings of all extensions. But if you set it like as an custom, then will of course they will the default settings is for them to check only the allowed extension recording. And of course you can check all extensions if you want. That's totally okay. And another big difference here is, even though you can give a customer authorization of every item in this list, this user cannot be an administrator, because you can see very clearly here in the setting page, we have only included configuration of network security, date and time, email, storage. The user permission, which is in the system art category, is not included in this list. That means the custom, the authorized users, they cannot be granted to the authorization to change or to deliver privilege to other users. So only the administrator have the access to this page to customize the authorization of other users. That's the big difference between a normal user and an administrator. Okay. So this is the first thing we are going to be talking about. Very easy. Then we will be introducing a new modules we have in the PBX system. That's the recording. Well, we do record recording in our old MyPBX, but the difference here is that in old MyPBX only U series support automatic call recording. The normal the Soho and standard do not support automatic call recording, and the automatic call recording is actually an add-on, so users have to pay for it. But now it's not, it's free and it's on all models. So we have added this the configuration for recordings also in the firmware of our SPBX. I will show you now how to realize the configuration. So also in settings we have recording. So here you can define how you like to manage the recording. Okay, the first thing here is storage locations. So by storage locations you can actually check the storage space you have in the system to record the recordings. Of course, you can change if you like to switch. You can switch the recording location to other places. So if you like, if you have external storage expansion like USB or external hard drive, or if you're using AS300, you have an internal hard drive, but you can also configure here to move the recordings you have to other devices. And let's get back to the recording. The first two things you see here is internal call being recorded prompt and outbound or inbound call being recorded prompt. So that's very easy to understand. If you have enabled automatic call recording in your equipment, then if you choose a prompt, that means let's choose alert here. That means before a call is connected, the system will give you a prompt to tell you that your call is now being recorded. If you like, if you agree, please continue. This is also applicable for internal calls, because that means, well, if one extension initiate a call to another extension, this kind of prompt will also be played for both sides, because this is very important, especially in a lot of countries where according to the legal regulation, you cannot record a phone call without telling the callers, and if they are not agree, you cannot record their conversation. So it is necessary for us to add this thing in our system, so you won't have problem promoting our solution in your market. So here for internal calls between extensions, you can also enable this kind of alert, and of course for outbound calls, for outside calls, either outbound calls or inbound calls, you can also enable this kind of alert. So whether someone is calling you or you are calling an outside number, the callers or the callees will hear this prompt to tell them, your call is being recorded. If you like to proceed, you can continue. If you agree, we can proceed. If you're not, you can just hang up the call or hang up the phone, or things like that. Okay, and then we have record trunks. So you can define, even though you can enable a total automatic call recording, that means all phone calls made to your system, all calls happen within your system will be recorded. But you can have more control on that. You can just select several trunks, so all the phone calls made through those trunks will be recorded, and the phone calls made by other trunks won't be recorded. Or you can set extensions. So only phone calls involved by selected extensions will be recorded, and other phone calls won't be included. And one thing very importantly, for example, if the extension 1000 as our option here should be recorded, if they make a phone call to the extension 1007, this call will also be recorded. Very important. And of course, you can support which conference room you like to apply the recording. So if there is a conference call in this conference room, this conference call will also be recorded. So, as I have said, even though we offer you an automatic total recording, you can still make changes. You can still configure which calls you like to record and which calls you really don't like to record. Okay, this is where you manage the recording, but for all the recordings and you have, we offer you a way you can just check them and download them in another place. So in the menu, you will find a CDR and recordings. There is where you have all your recordings, and then you can check them. And of course, by default, this item has been on the desktop as well. So you can also click here to check the recordings you have. So if you really do have recordings in the settings, or in the system, of course, you will be shown here in this list. And of course, here as you see, what we have here is CDR and recordings. So with CDR, you have only call logs, but with recording, you will have actually audio profile of this conversation. Okay, and the information here has been offered for you to identify the recording. And here we have time. That means when this call is initiated. We have call from, call to, so the caller information and callee information is also included. Well, this way you will see if this call is an internal call or outbound call, if this is a inbound call or outbound call, or an internal phone call, or a conference call as well. And of course, call will offer some other options like call duration, talk duration, status, call recording options, all those informations for you so you can easily spot the recordings you are looking for. And of course, we'll offer you a search tools for you to more accurately find the recording you want to check. And we have added some time condition here, so you can just check and download all the recordings of the phone calls happen during certain period of time. Those configurations existed only in our recording add-ons in MyPBX, but now they are all in SPBX, and they will be open for anyone who use any models. This is very important for me to introduce to you, so you notice about this. Okay, the next thing we will be talking about is the App Center. App Center is actually a repository of all the non-core functions. We put all the non-core functions, so our customers can choose to download and upgrade each individual functions through here. Well, in this App Center, we have, as I have said, we have some non-core functions like, as you see here, we have PBX Center, LDAP server, auto provision, of course. The reason why we put auto provision here is, auto provision is a very, very important function in any PBX. This is for sure. But the thing is, there are a lot of IP phone manufacturer out there. They keep renewing their product line. They keep develop new models. So our support team, our technical team have to do a lot of work to keep up with their with their process. So so the thing is, in old MyPBX, if we add a new model, IP phone model to our auto provision, then we have to publish a new firmware, a brand new firmware. And if you want to use this new IP phone, then you have to upgrade your the firmware of your PBX. Well, sometimes it affects the stability of the system, and it's a lot of work to do, because, well, for example, if one of our partners, well, you have like 20-30 equipment in stock, then you will have to do like 20-30 upgrade on every one of the equipment. That's a lot of work. So now we have put this in the App Center, but by default the auto provision, it has already been downloaded to the system. So you will have this even if you don't you don't connect your system to the internet. But in this App Center, we will keep renewing the support list. So now, if we add new IP phones for auto provision, you won't have to just upgrade the firmware again. Well, we just you can just download this thing, and that's it. And of course, for our end users, well, if they buy new new IP phones that haven't been published when they got the system, well, they can also just upgrade to their auto provision here to the newest version, which may include the models they have right now. So this is actually very convenient. And of course, we will add all of our add-ons, all of our third-party integrations into this App Center as well. So well, the customers can just choose to download and upgrade the ones they need, and they can just leave the ones they don't need just right there. So it's somewhat like the iTunes you have in your iPhone, or the Google Plays you have in your or the Google Play you have in your Android phone. So you just, and well, some of the apps, some of the features will be free, some of them won't be free. Well, that's just how it is. Okay, we're done with the App Center. One last new features we have to talk about here today is the Event Center. Well, if you have participated our formal webinar introducing the equipment, then of course you already know something about the Event Center. But now I will show you in the real equipment. So you click Settings, instead other than PBX category, System category, you will see the Event Center. So you just click here to get into the settings for Event Center. So now, as you can see, this is very, very easy to understand. In this Event Center, we have included all the possible operations, possible issues that could happen with your telephone system. And you can just configure here to tell the system how you like it to react once the issues happened. So, for example, here we have modify administrator password. So you can just you can just check or uncheck those items. So if I do it like this, so in record, I enable the record. That means if the administrator's password has been modified, then the system will record about this issue. They will record when this thing happened and and how it is realized. And of course, we have a notification item, so you can also just check and uncheck here. So if you check once the administrator password get changed, the system will send a alert to the administrator. And the way to send here is email, SMS, or it can also be sent by a phone with a phone call. So the system can make a call to extension or an outside number according to your configuration to notify the administrator about this issue. Okay, so all the events here is included, and here is the notification contacts. So you can just add a contact. So this time, if the user of the extension 1000 is the administrator, then of course you can add it to a contact, or you can add other people to add a contact for notification as well, if you want. And here we have all the ways you can enable as a way to send alert to. Okay, this is the event center. So as I have said, the system will record the event here, and then the administrator or assigned contact will be notified about the issue. And here we have event log. So here we can register everything that has happened with the system. So we have so as you can see here, we have operations that user login successful, and we have detailed information and about who has logged in, and the IP address they use to log into the system are also all those information are included. And of course, for other events we will include other information. And here we offer you a search tools also, so that you can just locate the items you want in this call logs. Well, this actually will help a lot while you are doing troubleshooting. Okay, so now we're done with the new modules we have added for the SPBX. And next thing we will be talking about is maintenance. As our partners, according to the contract you have with your customer, perhaps you will have to offer them services or maintenance constantly, and I imagine you charge for that, of course. So here we have options, configurations here to facilitate your work. And in the menu you will see the maintenance. If you like, you can just add it to the desktop. So okay, we click here, we get into the maintenance. Well, some of the features for some of the features we keep it the old way, as MyPBX. That's so we don't have to change. So you can just keep your old habit while you're maintaining the PBX of your system, of your client. But we have added some new features, new things. We have simplified some of the features. Oh, sorry. We have simplified some of the features. Well, let's take a look. The first thing is upgrade. Normally, your end users won't mess around with the system. So they won't care if there are new firmwares, if they don't have problem with the version they have. If they have all the functions they want, they will ignore the upgrade. But for you, well, if you sometimes upgrade can help a lot when you are solving problems for your client. So here we have actually done some change in the upgrade. When it comes to upgrade, now the biggest settings, biggest change we have made is now you can just download the new firmware file to your computer, and you can just upload this file directly from your computer to your PBX. In old My PBX system, you will have to do it through THTP. But now it is not necessary. You can just directly upload through a local network. Of course, so that means when you are doing troubleshooting or doing, or just execute your service contract with your client, you can just bring your laptop having the newest firmware in the system. If they really have some problem with the firmware they have, you can just upgrade and then upgrade it to the new one, and in many cases it will just solve the problem. And here you can just we offer you the TFTP as well if you like, but as I have said, if you can really upload the file from your local computer, then well, you just won't use TFTP. Okay. And of course, we also offer automatic upgrade. That means the system will check if there are new upgrade, and if there is, they will notify you. And if you like, the system will also can also just automatically install the new firmware once they detect new firmware. Of course, this function require a internet connection. Well, this is very natural, easy to understand. And well, when it comes to backup and restore, everything stays the same. Once you click backup, the system will do a backup automatically. And well, you can, when you have some problem, well, you can also just use this backup file. You apply this backup file with your computer. Oh, that's very easy. And of course, you can download all the backup files to your computer just in case, just in case when you meet problems in the future. And well, those backup files will be restored in the flash by default. And well, with reboot and reset, that's very easy. You know, if you click reset, then this system will be reset to the default settings. Every changes you've done in the system will come. And of course, you can manually reboot the system. It normally takes about 1 or 2 minutes. Well, if you like, you can also reboot your system. And of course, we have system log, where we keep all the logs of all the of everything that has happened. Of course, we have operation log. That's basically the same thing. Well, those are all for your troubleshooting. So, well, it's actually for the administrator of the system. In most cases, our partners. And here we have troubleshooting. We have included some tools for troubleshooting. Here, the first one is Ethernet capture tools. So that is used for you to get data package log with your IP lines, with your SIP extensions or SIP trunks. So all IP included problem. Well, you can just use these tools to get call log. So the first thing is which port is to define which port do you want to capture. So that means if you choose LAN, then the system will only capture the data coming and going through LAN port, or you can choose WAN port, or you can just choose both. And all you have to do is to define an IP address and a port, of course. port information, of course, and just click start. Then the system will start the capture all the data package sent by the lines, by the IP address you have sent through the IP address that you have defined here. And well, you can just click stop once you are done, and you download it to your local computer. You can just see the logs and see the data. You can just check the data package and we'll analyze it to see what's wrong with your system. And we have then DAHDI Monitor Tool. So the Ethernet capture tools are for you to check your SIP lines, SIP trunks, and of course DAHDI tool is for analog. So you can actually check all the trunks, analog trunks you have here, and once you click start, then the system will automatically record the phone calls made through this analog trunk, and well, you click stop, it will be stopped, and of course you will see this file, you will hear this file. You put this in a audio edit software. You will see a very detailed waveform information, and of course this will help you with your troubleshooting for analog calls. Well, actually this is the way you do troubleshooting for analog calls. So okay, and one very important thing here is that with data capture tools and DAHDI monitor tool, only one piece of record will be kept in the system. So if you have a record already, please download it, and once you start a new record, the old one will be just replaced. This is a configuration in asterisk. We cannot change that. Of course, if you are familiar with SSH, or you can log in to check those things, well, that will be a little easier. It will be maybe a little more intuitive for you if you really know asterisk, know the command lines of SSH. Well, but here we also offer you a tool so that you can just more easily realize everything here with your web GUI instead of download special software to do that. And of course we offer you an IP ping, so you can just so if you have problem with your network connection, you can just ping one IP address or ping a server to see if the connection is correct. Well, you can do it with your local computer, of course, but we also include this tool in your system, so you can also use our web GUI to do this. Okay, I think we are all done here. Thank you so much for joining all of our Yeastar technical training program, and you've been taking all of our courses. Now I believe you already know all of our basic configurations and basic features with which you can totally set up a telephone system with our IPPBX from scratch. And well, as I have said, if you are interested in take a test and get the exam and get the certification, well, of course you can send a mail to academy@yeastar.com. I will after, as usual, I always give you a follow-up email after every training. So with the follow-up email of this very webinar, I will be include an attachment, which is our application form for Yeastar certification, and of course you can fill this application form, which only include basic information about yourself, the people who who apply for this certification, of course, some basic information about who you work for, things like that. And well, you can just reply this application form back to academy@yeastar.com, and you will be able to get into our training platform and pass the test. By passing the test, you can get certified. And of course, if you have any questions, any doubts about our products and also along your work, and of course you can always contact me, myself, Ramon@yeastar.com. We also welcome your comment over our training courses and our online test, of course. And another thing I'd like to mention here is, of course, we've been, as I have said many times, we've been only including basic configurations with basic features with which you can run a telephone system with no problem at all. And of course, there are more advanced ways to use a PBX, which we haven't been talking about, and also we've never remotely touched. Well, we've only slightly touched the topic of troubleshooting, and just as other advanced features, well, with more practice, or that is to say, when you install a certain amount of system by yourself, by your hand, you will master it in our PBX system. After all, it is a quite simple and straightforward system. It's nothing high profile. It's not that complicated with, with the command lines and stuff. Okay, so I think that's it for our training courses. Thank you so much for going through all of our courses. As I have said, if you have any questions, any doubts, if you have any comments, you can send a mail to my email address, ramon@yeastar.com, and as soon as I get a chance, I will give you feedback. Okay, thank you so much for being with us here, and hope it will be. I hope those courses are informative and helpful for you. Okay, thank you.